I'm ready.
Okay.
응답하라 Yeochin. Go to the end of the ship.
Back to the Kyung to the Jew. Hey.
Special episode today because we
Yes.
have an in-studio guest.
Yes.
We have our good friend Michelle Lee.
Hi.
Welcome. Michelle is co-founder of the Very Asian Foundation. You may have heard of it. You may have seen her videos. You may have seen that very viral one 3 years ago. She's also an award-winning journalist who used to work at King 5 here in Seattle. So welcome back to Seattle.
Yeah, our homegirl's back.
Yay!
Take me. No. No, thank you. That's
So
nice.
what brought you here on this trip?
So we usually have a fundraiser in October, and we call it the Sunday Fun Day Benefit Luncheon. And we raise money for books and for creatives. And so we bring a creator. Well, we bring all of our creators grant winners to Seattle. And then we also usually have a fireside chat with a creator. So last year it was Jonathan Spizzato.
Oh, nice.
And this year it was Shannon Lee and actor Rich Ting. So they had a nice little chat yesterday.
Okay.
And then we usually do a book drop. So we were with a school today and gave away like almost 350, 400 books.
That's incredible. And are schools applying for this, or people in the community nominating schools?
Yes and no. It's
Okay.
all yes and yes. I mean, really, it's who can we get this week? You know, sometimes.
Yeah.
And then other times we have a long list of backfilling that we need to do. But in this case, it was like, oh God, we're doing this next month. What are we doing? You know, so it was
Yeah.
like that. So we called on some schools that we've used in the past.
Okay.
And we said, do you want books? And they said yes. I feel like no one says
No one
Right.
says no.
Everybody needs
Yeah.
books. Why October?
I don't know. Why not? I feel like it should not be October because my birthday is sandwiched. Like Sunday Fun Day is sandwiched between my birthday and my son's birthday.
Yeah.
So
that's
literally it is a
busy.
shit show.
Wow.
It's always like,
I know.
oh my God,
You're
why?
always like running on all cylinders.
Yeah.
You're crazy busy. It's a whirlwind when you're in town because you got so much things going on. How do you do it?
Well, how does anyone do anything? I think people probably think I'm a hot mess. I try not to be because I'm not a real messy person, but I'm always like, oh my God, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know how it's like a wedding because you're forgetting all these little details. And then you're
Right.
like, but then we have tomorrow and then we have the next day, you know?
But Ellen and I both went to one of your events 2 years ago now,
Right.
almost 2.5 years ago. And it
That's
was
just a
very well
mixer.
put together. It's just a mixer, but still. You had a little table with all the books that schools were getting. It was just very neat. And 2 years ago, that's when the foundation was still even newer.
I know.
And it's just crazy. I forgot to wear my Very Asian
I'll
ball
send
cap
you merch.
today.
I'll
But
Send me merch. I love
Um,
your merch. I
just-
love wearing very Asian.
yeah, it's incredible that this came about from like Asian hate.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about
Firsthand
your
Asian
board.
hate.
Well, guess what? They hate us again, so it's okay.
They hate us again. Oh my gosh.
That's
but,
not funny, but you know what I
take
mean?
us back to that moment because I remember my visceral reaction seeing your video
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the day or the day after you posted it, and it was right after the new year.
Right. So it was back in 2022. And you know how you do just like readers, like
Yeah.
on just a reader, a
Yeah.
25-second no video story on what Americans eat on New Year's Day and why.
Mhm.
And it was like greens for wealth, corn for coins, something like that. Things I had never actually even
It's
heard
like
of
a
as an
filler,
American.
a filler story.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
right. But also, it was written by like a producer in residence. That's the nice way to say like just one step up from an intern. I don't even remember that producer's name because literally they left like the next day, you know, to
Okay.
come back
Yeah.
to California or something. So we did that story. And then at the very end, I said, and I had dumpling soup because that's what a lot of Korean people do. Now, that's not even true. You know, like I could have said I had tteokguk or I had
Yes.
rice cake soup.
Yeah.
Right.
But I didn't even say that because you're already watering it down for
Yes.
people. You know, I don't know how many
Right.
people go, oh, rice cakes. You know,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
thinking of like
Quaker
Quaker
Oats.
Oats.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first
Exactly.
time I heard that those styrofoam thingies were
Yeah.
called rice cakes
Yeah.
I know.
was just a weird moment for me.
I remember that so vividly when I said rice cakes once, and then they're like, "What? Like the Quaker
Right.
Oats?" And I was like, "No, like ew."
That
that's what you
in
think?"
soup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You think those are rice cakes?
Yeah,
No.
no.
So funny, right? So I had already, you know, watered it down, dumbed it down. And I did actually have some really nice comments at first because there was one guy, his name was, I really remember this, his name was Jim. And he said, my wife grew up in Korea and our daughter's making that soup for the very first time. Thanks for mentioning it. So I'm assuming Jim's not Asian, right? The way that was said. And then someone said, like, thanks for mentioning that. The young people see it. I mean, it was like, first of all, I'm like, who's watching the news on New Year's Day?
Yeah.
Who's taking the time to write in? That's cool.
Yes.
And it's St. Louis, you know?
Thank you.
It was like 6 months after I moved from Seattle to St. Louis, too.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't think I've really been open about it, but I had not been served twice in St. Louis, and I got accused of shoplifting in the 6 months that I was there.
But you grew up in Missouri,
Kansas City.
In Kansas City, okay.
Yeah.
So it was
Well,
kind of
rural Kansas City, but yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what sucks about Missouri. Like, I love Missouri so much and wanted to stay there and could never get a job in Missouri, even when I knew that I was ready. Do you know how in news, you're ready for like that next jump? And I really felt like Asians didn't matter because so many people in my career had said, you really need to go to the West Coast because that's where Asians matter. You know, you really need to change your name because people are too confused with your name. I mean, all these things that I had already been kind of resisting, but then bending eventually for. And I remember King 5 was like a dream station because Lori Matsukawa, Mimi Jung, you know, people who'd been there for so long. And I was like, what is that like to even to be a main anchor and be Asian and have this long-standing career where people know you and respect you? What is that like where I can't even get a job, you know? And it really, that's why I moved around so much because it'd be one contract, you know? And so I just really hated that my dream jobs aside from King 5, before King 5 was KMBC 9 in Kansas City and KSTK in St. Louis.
Yes.
And literally sent them a million tapes, you know.
Believe it.
VHS, DVD, you know, all the things. So eventually I just was like, it's got to be the West Coast. And King 5, I never thought I could do King 5. But luckily, when they had a buyout, they like had a lot of openings, you know. And I mean, I really worked every station here and then got a job at King, and it was great. Like,
I didn't know that you worked at every station.
Oh, no, I mean, I tried to get a job at every station.
Got it.
You know, like I really sent resumes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in Seattle. I'd love to meet you.
I had a very similar experience. I was trying to enter the job market in 2010. So kind of like still height of the recession. And I knew it was going to be very hard all throughout like grad school. I grew up in LA, and I knew it was out of the question to get an on-air job in the number 2 market. So I was told to look, you know, cast your net far and wide. And I tell this story a lot where I was looking at every station's like About Us page, looking at the faces who are on air. And if there was already an Asian person there, doesn't matter if it's male or female, I'm like, okay, go look elsewhere because they're not going to hire another one.
Yeah.
I literally had people say you can't get a job at WRAL because Renee Chu's there, who's a friend of mine, because Renee Chu's there, and you know they can't have 2 Asians. The viewers will be confused.
And I know Renee.
I know,
it's such a small world. I know Renee. She was one of the
her.
first people I met through Asian American Journalists Association.
No way.
Yeah, and I remember just like, wow, like, you know, she's several years ahead of me, already been in the business. And I remember going to my first conference when I was like about a year or two into
What was
the
your
business.
first? What year was?
I was in Elmira, New York, rural New York. Funnily enough, I think I got hired because the competition number 1 station had an Asian female, and I got mistaken for her so many times.
Wow,
we look nothing
so that
alike.
is a thing.
Oh,
Nothing
it's a
alike.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I still get confused in St. Louis with like other Asians. Not on TV because I'm the only Asian on TV.
So here you are.
Oh, yes,
You're at
so-
your dream station finally.
Yeah.
Right? 6 months into moving.
Yes. And so
Back
I had
to
experienced a few things, and I
yeah.
was like, am I being gaslit? You know, did they really not serve me? What was the deal there? Why? Was there really a misunderstanding with shoplifting? You know, like it was kind of like, but I was getting pissed off, you know,
Yeah.
because
You
I was
was
like
shoplifting? Okay, I need to hear
at
about
the
this.
grocery store,
Yeah.
you know. But here's the real kicker is that I got accused twice. So
That's
that's when.
crazy.
So the second time, that's when I like lost it because then I was like, I actually go, do you have a race problem? What's the issue?
Yes.
Because I was like, do I not look a certain way? Like what is
Well,
going
what
on?
did
I
they
was
think
freaking
that you
out.
shoplifted?
Groceries. I
That
mean,
you didn't
literally
pay for your
because I went
groceries?
through with my basket, you know, like the self checkout. I mean, I had my receipt in the basket,
Yeah.
but each time they followed me out, and the last time this lady really followed me out pretty far, and
my
I was
gosh.
pissed
Oh my
because
God.
I said, here's my receipt, and she goes, oh, okay. I go, no, I want you to look through everything. Like I was so mad. I was like,
remember you did a video about that too.
Oh yeah,
I
did.
remember it.
I did, and then I went viral the next week.
I
was, like, so mad.
know.
So I was having some issues
Yes.
in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I'm gonna say this honestly. St. Louis is a great city. St. Louis is an awesome city. The people are fabulous. Like, there's so much solidarity. You cannot when like St. Louis is like 49% black. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much around diversity and equity and issues that neighborhoods being underinvested. All these things. Like, there's a lot of solidarity in all of this work, but I feel like as an Asian person, it's there's still a lot of work to do for the Asian community, just because they still kind of act like it's not really. There are two races in St. Louis, you know. So, and that's not true at all because there's actually a pretty large. There are some schools in St. Louis that have 30% Asian American students.
Wow.
So it's not like we don't exist, you know.
Right.
But anyway, so I was having a little bit of a hard time in St. Louis, and granted, I was just probably in the wrong spots, you know, and then I went viral for that very Asian comment. So after I said I had dumpling soup, that's what a lot of Korean people do. Then this woman called and said. And I just listened to this today because I did this at school.
Yeah.
This woman said, hi, your Asian anchor said something about what Asian people eat. And I kind of take offense to that because what if a white person said what they ate? They would be fired.
What?
And then she was like, I don't know. She's just being very Asian. She needs to keep her Korean to herself. It was annoying. And talk about because if a white person talked about what they ate, they would be fired. So talk about what white people eat.
We
okay,
do
thanks.
whole
Bye.
stories.
She
whole
said thanks.
series
Come
about what
on,
white
you know?
people eat for Thanksgiving every year.
Well, what did
Yeah.
I just do? I talked about
Right.
coins and
Yes.
greens and
Yes.
whatever. And here's the thing. I don't know very many people who actually eat any of those things for New Year's. Unless
Yeah.
maybe if you're in the South, you might do Hop and Johns or, you know.
Yeah. It's not a big tradition.
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
Even here, I don't know anything
Yeah.
about like
in
what
Missouri,
people
we
eat for
literally
New
shot off
Year's.
illegal fireworks. That's what we did. You
Yeah.
know, like we
Yeah.
weren't eating like pork for progress, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, so I was just like, who's doing this anyway?
Yeah.
But that's even what Ellen DeGeneres said. She was like, you literally talked about what white people eat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I wasn't kidding. Like that morning when I was looking through all my feed, like it was all Korean people. But I mean, everyone was doing Korean
Yes.
stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like Korean. It was Korean American. You know, we were all my friends were doing
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Everything. Yeah.
And then I think it kind of put me in a weird place because I was like, well, here I am back in my home state dealing with some stupid stuff again. On top of the fact that like I'm an adoptee, so I'm already have spent a lifetime being insecure about being Korean,
Yep.
but have done a lot of work to feel like the culture is a part of me, you know, in the
You're
sense
like,
of like,
this probably is the first time somebody's telling me I'm being
Right,
too
right,
Asian,
right,
too
right.
Korean,
my
as if it's a
God.
bad
Right.
thing.
yeah, and you know, and that's the thing. Like, I think all of us, even as Americans, you know, it's not the same when you go to Korea. Like they
No.
all know. Oh my God,
They
they
are
all know
not
you're American.
One
yeah.
of them. Yeah.
So, you know, so to do the work, I feel like as an individual to learn more about Korean culture, to learn the language ish, you know, or
Yeah.
to use, you know, take every dime you have to go to Korea
Yes.
or go to Korean heritage camps. Oh my God, I drag my kid to all these Korean cultural events, and
Wow.
you know, so you're doing the work when
Yeah.
you really don't know where to even start sometimes,
Yeah.
especially as an adoptee. So it's like, girl, you don't even know. Like I am so redneck. I could come here and, you know, like out hillbilly all you know.
Oh
and
my
so,
gosh.
You know, but your currency is your face. Your
Yes.
currency is always your face.
Exactly. And like part of my just visceral reaction was I too remember every New Year's I had to work. I'm
Yes.
away from home, cannot eat my mom's food. It's like that's what you start the new year with. Is that's what I grew up with is hearing my aunts and uncles, my mom tell me you cannot like go into the new year if you don't have rice cake soup, if you don't
Right.
have tteokguk, you literally cannot gain another year.
Right.
Then this is part of like that passage. And so I remember sharing like on my, like station Facebook page is like, Happy New Year. Here's a picture of like tteokguk, that rice cake soup that I made at home. It's not like my mom's, but
Right.
that was, so I just felt so like the injustice felt so personal for me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, who doesn't like food? You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't like dumplings? Who doesn't like rice cake? I mean, I give you don't know rice cakes, okay? But dumplings, like,
yeah.
It really was like the lowest of the low because I'm like, that's what she got mad about.
and she sounded young. That was the
Oh.
thing
Oh.
that
Yeah,
got me
that's-
too. I would be
that's
one thing if it was like,
discouraging, too.
well, you know,
Right.
but I was like, I could see you in the pickup line, like
Yeah.
at
You're
school
my
or
age.
something.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, yeah.
But you took that, so you reclaimed that phrase, very Asian, meant to be negative, and
And
turned
said-
it into a whole freaking foundation
Yeah, you're right. I am very Asian.
to amplify Asian American experiences. So that's incredible. What
yeah,
was
but
that?
sometimes you
Yeah.
do things and you're like, let's just do this,
Yeah.
and it's like it's the last scene of The Graduate, and you turn around and you go, what did we just do?
Yeah.
So yeah, starting a nonprofit was I felt like it was the right thing to do at the time because we had already raised so much money with Very Asian Shirts. We
Yes.
gave it to AAJA,
Mhm.
and then we went on Ellen. Ellen gave me money, and I was like, let's start a foundation.
That's
The worst
amazing.
thing that happens is that we have a foundation for St. Louis.
Yeah.
But then we ended up, being a national organization. We're still very grassroots, though. We don't have any paid people.
And that's what I love about it. Yeah.
It's nice, but then
Yeah.
you know how moms are already burned out.
I know,
God
and
bless,
that's the
oh
thing is,
my
like,
gosh, yeah, that's
we,
all we ever
can
talk
about like moms doing unpaid
like,
labor
God,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I just want to lay down a
Yeah.
lot,
I know.
But I mean, I love it. So I
Yeah.
do feel really in hard times, when you see kids, for
Mhm.
example, today get very excited about
Yes.
books and kids who are not Asian understanding the Very Asian story
Yeah.
and hurt feelings. Because obviously, Very Asian is not the worst that I've been called or you've been
Oh,
called.
oh,
or
yeah,
whatever,
for
or
sure.
I mean, God bless. So, so to have people understand, like everyone has a hurt feeling,
Mhm.
no one comes out unscathed. We can all be better to ourselves and to each other.
Mhm.
That's a very big component of our like talks that we do
Yeah.
at schools because obviously you can't help it if you're not Asian. So we want to.
Are you sure?
I know. So we want to just be like be about belonging,
Yes.
and being proud of whatever your story
Exactly.
is,
Yeah.
And even today there was a girl there, and she was like, "I want to tell you, I'm a quarter Asian," and I was like, and she doesn't present as Asian,
Mhm.
and I said, "Well, you're a full person,
Yeah.
so you're not a
I love
percentage."
that.
And she was like, "Okay." I was like, so
Yeah.
just having those conversations at a small level with kids,
Mhm.
I think is powerful.
It
I don't know
is.
if it'll stick with them, but I hope it does.
But I know, I mean, like, okay, I didn't grow up with books that weren't Korean, that
Right.
showed what is Korean cuisine like, what are Korean traditions like, Asian, let alone Korean. But the impact that this young foundation has had through your experience is like far and wide. I mean, I remember
Oh.
seeing your book, A Very Asian Guide to Korean Food, and then there have been other iterations, right? But the books were stocked downstairs at our friend's restaurant,
No
Osan Panchan.
way.
They had a little market with
Mhm.
just like all kinds of like Asian pantry staples.
Very Asian
and-
things.
Oh
yeah,
my
very Asian
God.
things. And
That's so
it was
awesome.
just really neat to my kids loved like going there and browsing just kind of all the
Oh, that's
little
awesome.
knickknacks and it really just I think set the stage for not just Korean food, Korean
Mhm.
restaurants, but other creatives
Yeah.
to really get out there.
Well, Also, the thing about the book is that another mom
Mm-hmm.
sent me her book. It was called What's That? Her name's Karen Chan, and she started Glue Books. She's an attorney, a lawyer who went into publishing because she just didn't see books for her kids.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, because she was a mom who was like, here's my book. You know, I read it to my son. My son was 3 at the time, and he thought he was the main character in that book. And I had read him hundreds of books already. And that was the first time that he was like, saw himself as the character.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, am I doing everything wrong? So I thanked her. And then she was like, do you want to write a book? And I was like, well, I don't know how to write anything, I mean, packages, Bosats, But she was like, well, just do a guide, let's just do a guide. And I just thought how empowering of another mom, woman
That's
to
so
woman,
cool.
was like, I'm going to take you, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really make money off of a book, but it's the
No,
idea
Ellen
that,
knows that. Yeah. She published a kid's book.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We need to get your book in school.
Oh,
too.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know what I mean? Like the fact that people pull you up,
Yeah.
and even if doesn't, I'm not a millionaire, I'm not even a half a million, I have I'm not even a quarter, but I mean, it's just the idea that someone would pull you up and say, I see you, I want
Yeah.
to support you, let's support each other,
Yes.
mom to
Beautiful.
mom,
What I
That's great.
love that Very Asian became was just build solidarity
Mm-hmm.
around our shared experiences, but
Yeah.
also celebrates, our unique differences.
Yeah.
Right? And what makes us such a diverse group.
Yeah, there's no way
Yeah.
no one way to be
Right.
very Asian.
Yeah. And Ellen and I
You know?
talk about this all the time is we're both Korean, but we each have such different and divergent experiences. And we learn a lot just from talking about that. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty remarkable. And I love kind of whenever you're in town and oh my gosh, like this is actually,
Yeah.
a thing and you're doing grants and micro grants
Oh, the
and
grants.
supporting.
Yes, we need
Yes.
to give you a grant.
You heard that here. Get that? We got that on tape.
I know. Well, no, I talk about you guys all the time. I'm not
Oh,
even
my
kidding. I'm not even.
gosh.
So
Thank
if
you
you ever
so
hear your
much.
ears burning or feel your ears
Yeah.
burning,
Oh.
I
Okay,
really
so
do.
I want to talk about this age that we're living in. I mean, we are all living real time the phenomenon of K-pop demon hunters.
Yeah.
Is that
Every day.
crazy or what? And I just saw Arden Cho, who's the voice of the speaking voice of Rumi.
Rumi.
Right? Of how 3 years ago she was feeling like she was maybe at the end of her road. Like her Netflix show,
Partner Track,
Partner
right?
Track
Yeah.
got canceled. And like now almost 3 years to the date. This was like back in August.
And
She's
Arden
like,
Cho's 40.
yeah,
She
she's 40.
is?
Yeah,
she's
she's
40.
40.
Shut
She-
up.
Yeah.
Oh my
She's
I mean,
in
she looks
our
fantastic.
But I
yeah.
just saw her celebrate her 40th.
Get out.
So, I mean, as an Asian American millennial, I mean, this is like a crazy
Wait, are you
moment, right?
millennials?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
What did
are.
you think we were?
Zennials?
I don't know. I'm a Gen Xer.
What?
But
Wait, how old
but
are you?
barely. I'm barely a Gen
Okay,
Xer.
you're-
I'm like
What counts as
I
a Gen
ba-
X?
79.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You're
we're
a
in the
Zennial. You're like a
same-
Zennial.
Yeah.
You missed it by like a
Yeah, you're
yeah.
No,
I
I
don't
know.
even-
But I like being in that.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
but
Okay.
because you know what, like that was the year. Those were the times when you listened to all music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be
Mhm.
listening to Nine Inch Nails or Jodeci. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it could be like
Yeah.
so. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's totally random. But sorry.
No.
Or K-pop Demon Hunters.
Or
you know,
K-pop.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
you
I
listen
mean,
to all
like,
music.
is this wild or what? Like,
It's so
I,
crazy.
you know,
I love it for my son.
I also love it for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wild to have like my white friends coming up to me and being so interested. Like, Jane, tell me what the Korean. You need to
love how
teach us
you're,
what
like,
the Korean
quietly-
lyrics are in Golden, right?
Are you saying the quiet part out loud, Jane?
I know. But you know what? I just saw a news story that like out of all the major metros in the United States, it's like the top 5
Okay.
Halloween costumes 4 are from K-pop Demon Hunters.
I believe it.
Everyone's going to be Rumi
Mm-hmm.
or Jinu
Mm-hmm.
for Halloween.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My kiddo wants to be oh my god, Baby Saja.
Babies, yeah, babies, popular.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter Ruby's gonna be Rumi. I'll be Mira.
Oh my god.
My husband's gonna be Jinu.
Oh.
Yeah, my son didn't want to join
He's like,
the theme.
you know
but
what?
yeah, he's
That
like,
is
you do
enough,
you.
y'all.
But can I just say we're so cheap in our house that when I went to Goodwill, I was like, look at this Spider-Man costume. And
Yeah.
and JJ was like, okay. And I was like, yes. So I got a $5.
You got to redirect him?
Yeah, so we're not going to be. He really was dead set on
Yeah.
being baby Sasha, but I talked him into a $5 Superman or a Spider-Man costume.
I'm mad
That's
that
very Asian.
Amazon came out with all the stuff after I had ordered. You know, I was like, this stuff is going to come from overseas. It's going to take a very long time. So I ordered back like beginning of September. But now they have all the official, you know.
That was good though
Smart,
that you were on it.
but-
That you were on it. Yeah.
I got lucky this year because, you know, usually there's like something in the summer that my daughter's like, oh, that's what I want to be. But then come September, she changes her mind.
Right.
But this K-pop Demon Hunters wave is,
It's pretty consistent.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
And
think
it's just
it's
getting
been
bigger.
number one on Netflix for months on end, and that you
Yeah.
don't see that. You don't
Yeah.
see the same thing on Netflix.
No.
Netflix is like usually
I know,
just like
they churn.
yeah,
so
you never
much.
see a show or a movie last that long,
Right.
but it just keeps going back number one
Yeah.
spot.
know.
But it's such a surreal thing because when we were young, we were made fun of, or I was such a loser for listening to Korean pop.
Not knowing, like,
like, oh,
like
that
the top
fog in
40s.
the
But
basement, rewinding our VHS tapes, like H.O.T. Like,
it's
I
like,
feel like I was robbed.
I
know.
know.
Of being
We were all
cool.
robbed. We were all robbed.
Yeah.
For real.
yeah.
But we got, I mean, the only thing is, like, seriously, we got to have a mix of everything when we were kids. That was the only thing that was
Yeah.
cool about
Yeah.
our childhoods.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's bitter because, like, I will ask kids, have you ever tried kimchi? Yeah, I like it. What? You know, I'm always like this. No. I mean, even as an adult, people will be like, get that stinky kimchi out of the newsroom. I'd be like, oh, you know, like, people were so
Yes.
mean. Oh.
Yes.
And, you know, like, people want to eat everything.
Yeah.
Every Korean thing they want to eat.
Yeah.
Or they know what it is. And I'm like, that's great. But also, where were you when I needed you?
I know.
Where was this when I God. But my kid he really has pride in being Korean.
Mhm.
And I think actually even before K-pop Demon Hunters, like, I mean, literally we're talking this year,
Yeah.
he did say to me once, like, he's like, I don't know if I want to be Korean. I go, well, that's the coolest part about you, so
Yeah.
I better like it.
Wow.
You know, and I don't think he really meant it. He was
Mhm.
just like, I wish I actually don't know what he meant, you know, because
Yeah.
he's
Kids
sick.
are just
They just say, you
processing
know,
out loud what aren't even tangible thoughts, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
So I think from our adult lens, it comes off like we get so worried, like, what did you
Oh,
mean
yeah,
by
for sure.
that? You know?
I have friends whose daughters, you know, before K-pop Demon Hunters, I would say it was still very much Frozen, like Elsa and
Oh,
Anna, if you're talking about
yeah.
Halloween. And one of my friend's daughters was, well, I wish I had like blonde hair. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my gosh,
I
like
know.
you don't know how beautiful you are, and
I know.
you know,
It's a lot.
It
It's a
is a
lot.
lot.
You know, so you're always navigating that.
Mhm.
And then as, you know, since JJ's multiracial, it's like, well, I'm only half this. And I'm like, you're
Mhm.
not. You're a full person. You know,
Mhm.
we have to, but it's funny how much you have to say things to
Yeah.
build up their confidence because it just
Yeah.
takes one little thing. I mean, that's as an adult too, you know,
Yeah.
but, so yeah, so even before he was like, I don't know how I know we got back from Korea and he's like, Korea was kind of boring, and I was like, well, I did make him see all these cultural things. He
Yeah.
probably was bored out of his mind. His most exciting part was seeing a baseball game, and then everything
Okay.
else that was day one, and then nothing else could like register.
did he like the food?
He did like one or two things.
Okay.
It's a young age.
Yeah,
though.
it is a
young
That's a time
age.
to be very, you know,
Mhm.
let me just build up. My kids just started eating kimchi more
Oh,
on the
really?
regular
Mhm.
Okay.
because they're like, it's, you know, I don't know if
Yeah.
I like it, and now they actually demand it. with
Did you eat it
rice.
when you were pregnant?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
Ellen
eat
would.
only
Yeah.
Korean food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it
that's
was
what I
not
think's
for lack
interesting.
of exposure, right?
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing. Like, as an adoptee, I was always like, do I like Korean food or am I trying too hard? And then I saw this
Wow.
study that was actually like, you tend to like the foods that your mother ate when she was carrying
Oh,
you.
absolutely.
And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so that makes me
That
feel
makes you
better. Like, I am connected to
yes.
Koreanness because I love all Korean food.
Yeah.
Not all, but I mean the majority of it.
Is there
you
good
know?
Korean food in St. Louis?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
mean, I've taken my sister to a couple places. She didn't complain, so I feel like she's Korean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Korean. I love that. She's Korean.
She's
so-
a real Korean
Yeah.
OG. So she didn't complain. Yeah, but I think that I mean we just had this discussion last night. I really feel like you can get pretty good Korean food in most cities now.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
we've come
maybe
a
not
long,
the
long
best, but you know
way.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you go to Korea and it's not that much better.
Yeah.
right?
No. True.
Especially
True.
LA.
LA?
Korean
Oh my
food.
gosh, I
Korea.
know.
Some
Yeah,
people
LA
say
Korean
LA
food.
Korean food
Mhm.
is like
And you go to Korea now, and it's so modernized
Yes.
and
They
like
throw
westernized
cheese on
too.
everything,
They
which
do.
makes my
I
everything
know. I'm
very
like, is this
sweet.
American cheese?
I don't
Yeah.
like that.
You can pretty much get any food
know.
in
Yeah.
in Korea now.
But I do like corn on pizza, so that will never change.
Oh, yeah. I love like sweet potato pizza. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, I really think that people have nailed Korean food down.
Yeah.
Enough. Enough.
Yeah.
It has become, before in our, like when we were growing up, no, people were confused. Like, so you're not Chinese, you're not Japanese. What are you?
Right.
And now it's become such a mainstream like element.
Mm-hmm. When I
Yeah.
was in Elmira, New York, my very first TV job, one person guessed correctly that I was Korean. And it was while I was filling up my station vehicle at the gas station. This man comes out, older white man, and says, "Excuse me, but are you Korean?" And in that moment, I was like, so like taken aback, like,
Mhm.
oh my goodness, yes, but how did you know that? And he said, my daughter is Korean. And I was like, oh, but that was like the one moment I felt
Yeah.
seen.
Right.
All other times I was like that Asian, you know.
And
That
think
Asian
it
at
turned
that
out to be
station.
sweet, you
I
know?
know.
Yes,
Because
right,
What did you
because
mean
it
by
could have been-
that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Could
Yeah.
have been totally different.
I'm glad he wasn't like, oh, my wife is Korean.
Yeah. oh my God, can you
right.
imagine though? Like,
Yeah.
Like
How many times is that? I'm not racist. I have a wife who's Asian.
My wife is Asian.
I know. Well, God, people are so funny. How many times have you been greeted with konnichiwa or like?
Oh my gosh.
or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
I'm curious, every New Year's since that fateful New Year's, do you mention like what you ate for that morning or no?
Because
Just
who's
like-
writing that story? Not, you know what I mean? Really, no one.
Yeah.
It just was kind of a fluke that
Yeah.
a young producer wrote that story.
Mhm.
If you remember, or you could probably go back on my social media, it's literally just a full screen
Yeah.
of words.
Yeah.
Like, who would really? No offense to that producer.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's not watching, but it's the idea of who's putting a full screen
Sure.
reader with just like corn,
Yeah.
pork.
Yeah.
So it's not a story that really gets aired.
Mhm.
Now, if you were having a big conversation about it, maybe, or what's
Yeah.
your New Year's Day tradition?
Right.
Okay, I could see that, but
Yeah.
it's like a video poor,
Mhm.
visually not a story.
Yeah.
So. But I mean, we did like a promo one year. I don't know. Like it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's hard. Also, I kind of don't want to bring attention to it on TV anymore because I don't want people to think that's my one trick pony
Sure.
kind of thing.
Yeah. And you kind of got like, this was like, it just happened, right? You didn't plan to
Right.
launch the Very Asian Foundation.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's what I always am asking for grace, because I think, people expect you to be like a certain level of organized
Yeah.
at a certain amount of time during at a foundation
Sure.
point. And so we'll reach our 4 years in
Yeah.
January. And I'm like, but here's the thing. We're still all working.
Yep.
We still have families. We're still moms.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting paid for this. And
Wow.
we also didn't plan for this. Like, it
Mhm.
wasn't my dream to have a foundation.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't change it, but what I really did for my whole family was put a full stop on everything in my family, and my family
Mhm.
has also endured and accepted. But, it's like, hey, let me just totally take on this whole other thing that's going to take 24 hours a
Yeah.
day, or
Yeah.
40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone can really live that way.
Yeah.
And in this economy, no.
Right.
Right.
And also just what's happening without being political, just what's happening in politics. You know, you can't be a woman. You can't be a without someone saying like that's DEI, you know, and I'm like, well, shouldn't we all be included?
Yeah.
You know, there are other things that are important, you know, that just aren't race, you know. So
But like you said, it's 4 years, you know, what does the future look like?
someone's going to give us $1 million capacity grant. We're going to be able to pay people, and then we're going to be able to give out more money.
That's a very manifest it.
I
Speak
know.
it.
Manifesting it,
Speak
please.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we really hope, you know, because we
Yeah.
really just need a little bit of capacity grant funding, like unrestricted money, not just like, hey, here's some money for a book, you know. It's like literally, here we believe in you. This is what you need, so I can pay an executive director, pay a development director, pay, you know, all these things, so that we can actually do good work and then have volunteers, of course, you know, but run it like a business.
Yes.
People are
Universe,
like,
hear us.
please, you know,
Yes.
people don't realize like even what, you know, everything that you do is still a business, even if it's like a podcast, a foundation, a side gig, you know, whatever. It's like you're still operating like
That's our
you
running
know.
joke. We're
Yeah.
always like,
You're
me
just
and
working for
Jane,
free.
we pay to do that.
right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it costs everything.
And we
costs.
do it because it's a passion of ours, and you know, we feel like it is having some impact.
It's having big impact.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
but-
what you're doing.
So, I mean, I just want to encourage you, you know, to
yes,
keep
we're
going.
rooting for you
We'll
always.
do what we can to amplify the work that you're doing. Okay, so number one, you need funding. Right? Sustainable funding.
We need some Asian billionaires up in here. I know you exist. You're always buying houses cash.
I know. Invest in us. Invest in people.
Yes,
Yes,
invest in
invest in
people. I love
people.
it. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us. It's so apparent that you are about community. You know, you are as much about the St. Louis community as you are about the greater Asian American
And
community.
you'll always be our
Yes.
Seattle girl.
Yes, you are
Thank
always,
you
always
so
welcome
much. Oh my
here.
gosh.
And thank you. Thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you.
You're a joy
Thank you.
and
Love
very
you
Asian.
guys.